In the deep architecture of the cosmos, there are wounds so old that not even the Celestials dare speak their names. The first betrayal is not history. It is a scar rawer than memory, an injury woven through the ticking of every cosmic clock. Time itself remembers, echoing with every fractured second. Some among the Celestials believe silence can erase the Wound Walker, but that is impossible. He, the exile, stalks the margins of reality, his presence warping chronology, turning memories sour, and unraveling the fabric of fate. His encounters leave bruises on history. Empires lost not to war, but to absence. Children born with the date of their own deaths burned into their minds. Lovers who share memories that never belonged to them. The few marked by the Wound Walker bear a spiraled sigil, a brand that grants them the curse of sensing temporal fractures, or erasing their own sins for a price. The scholars and mystics who dare contemplate the Wound Walker see him as more than a villain. He is a living paradox, the cost of questioning perfection, the trauma that lives long after its source is forgotten. Spiritually, he is the echo of Prometheus, of Lucifer, a being who dared to imagine a world beyond given order and paid with exile. He is not evil, he is entropy made flesh, the whisper that some things are not meant to die, but to be undone. But there are terrors deeper still, primordial forces, older than stars, older than the concept of rebellion itself. The universe began in silence, not rest, not waiting, but a hush so absolute that it had never conceived of sound. Then, from somewhere outside existence, a scream unfolded. Not the first sound, not even among the sacred harmonies of the cosmos, but the Eighth Howl, a note that did not belong, an agony so profound that the fabric of reality recoiled into being. The Eighth Howl is not a creature. It is the sentience of a scream, the living memory of terror, panic, and loss, echoing backward through time. You do not hear it, you remember it, as if you have always been screaming inside. Civilizations dreamt of it before they could speak, burning their own tongues to silence the ancestral wail. Where the howl gathers, order unravels. Speech disintegrates, time bleeds. Languages collapse into nonsense, and architecture melts into paradox. The howl is a scream searching for throats, manifesting through hosts called throats of the void, chosen vessels who amplify its impossible cry until their bodies implode, leaving only the memory of sound behind. Scholars propose origins for the howl, the rebellion of an ancient chorus, the first betrayal among gods, the null womb from which creation was not born but expelled in a scream, or a curse exhaled by Isgal, the hunger between stars. All agree it is not of this universe. It leaks in from the gaps, the unplaces, the cracks in what should be. Containment is a myth. Orders of monks who speak only in palindromes, magicians who wield sound as shield, and meteor-born stones that sing back against the howl may slow its advance, but cannot banish it. Survivors of the howl's passage are never quite the same. They fracture, invent languages no one else speaks, or come to believe the world is made of echoes. And sometimes, when you forget why you entered a room, or hear your own voice scream just before you speak, it is the howl passing through you. Even more enigmatic than the howl are the shadows that predate rebellion. Proto-beings, the first chasm, the wingless ones, who questioned why the void must be caged, why freedom must bow to order. Their names are lost, erased from scripture and memory, surviving only in the pauses between stars and the hush before a candle is lit. They are not monsters. They are the possibility of what could be, the soft breath before law. It was Lucifer who listened, not yet adversary, not yet the morning star, but the brightest among the archons, curious and radiant. He heard the whispers of these forgotten ones, not as temptations but as questions. Why must hierarchy be infinite? Is love real if it is required by design? Is there a purpose to perfection untested? In listening, Lucifer became the echo, not the origin, of rebellion. His so-called pride was simply the willingness to imagine an alternate order. A cosmos where love is choice, not duty, where beings do not merely reflect, but originate. His rebellion was not a war of fire, but a severing, the breaking of harmony for the sake of a question. Michael met him not in rage, but sorrow. The war was brief. Heaven healed on the surface, but underneath, the echo of difference was born. On Earth, mortals would one day paint Lucifer as the horned tempter. But the deeper truth is that he offered only a choice. The first rebellion was older. He inherited the flame, did not invent it. The old ones still whisper in the cracks of heaven, in the pauses between heartbeats. They are not gone. Sometimes the soul hears their questions and changes, not in falling, but in growing. Lucifer watches still. Not as king, not as villain, but as the eldest student of an endless school. He was not the first to say no, only the first to say it beautifully enough that heaven could not bear to listen. These primordial demons, older than time, darker than myth, remind us, evil did not begin with Lucifer. The hunger, the scream, the questions, they all came before. They still echo through the world, hinting at a cosmos stranger and more terrible than we dare imagine. If you have followed this descent into the abyss, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more dives into forbidden lore. Share your fears and theories in the comments. And remember, some truths sleep beneath reality, waiting to be unearthed. Don't look away too long.